So I hope it is visible to you all.
Yes, visible.
Okay, great. Okay, so have you guys downloaded the VMware and that ISO images?
Yes.
Okay. Any trouble during creating any virtual machine or any kind of query you want to ask?
Actually, I'm using that inbuilt feature Hyper-V.
Okay, okay.
I have seen your old video.
Mm-hmm.
I taken help from that videos.
Okay, that means you are able to create their virtual machines, right?
Yes, yes, I am able to create.
So you created the both for your servers and for client machine, you understand?
Only one I created, but I can create.
Okay, means you know the process, right?
Yes.
Great, great. Okay. So guys, hope you can see the introduction of this video that this is going to be the combo of MCSA and Azure, right? So why we introduce this batch, why we introduce this combo? Because see, if you are going to complete MCSA, right, then later on obviously you have to opt any of the cloud. Either you can go for AWS, or you can go for Azure, or you can go for Google Cloud, right?
Yes.
So as we are working on Microsoft servers, so I would recommend to go for Azure, right? Even I am also Azure certified, but I know how to work on other platforms, right? If someone will ask me to work on AWS, then definitely I will be able to do it. Why? Because my concepts are clear, right? So if you know about AWS, then obviously then you will be able to work on Azure as well. The terminologies will be different, right? नाम उसमें कुछ अलग होगा. AWS के केस में there will be some other terminologies, but in case of Azure there will be some other, right? But the concept will remain same, right? एक difference ये कह सकते हो आप that it is an Amazon product and this is going to be the Microsoft product. Yes, AWS is leading market right now, right? But Azure is the second leader, and maybe by 2025 it will be able to grow more. Okay, even if you are going for an interview, even if you are going for an system administrator interview, then definitely they will gonna ask whether you have the experience of Azure or not, right? And how you can go for Azure? First of all, you have to clear your concept under MCSA, right? Once you will be able to get the concept, once you will be able to configure the roles in your server, then definitely you will be able to work on Azure also. Guys, Azure is nothing, right? Azure is basically a console. See, let me show you. Portal.azure.com. Hope मुझे इसकी पासवर्ड याद हो. See, so this is going to be the console of your Azure, and here also you are going to create virtual machines. Here also you have to set up your networking between multiple virtual machines, right? अब यहाँ पे virtual machines तो बना लोगे. You will be able to create virtual machine. Either you can create 2016 server, or you will be able to create 2019 server. But after creating it, how to install the feature, how to manage the features, right? So that features we are going to learn in MCSA, right? And once you will opt Azure, you will be able to create your virtual machines, and you will be able to manage your virtual machines and their roles and responsibilities. So what I would recommend is, first just clear your concept under MCSA, right? And then you can opt for Azure. Even after doing your MCSA, see अगर आप Azure 104 certification भी करते हो from Microsoft, that is valid for 3 years, right? So if you are going for that certification, that basically authenticate that you do have working knowledge of servers, that you know about all the features that is available in server. ठीक है, तो इसलिए मे बी वो जो आपका MCSA certification है, that is expired, because you can go for Azure 104 or you can go for Azure fundamentals, that is 900, but I would recommend go for 104 directly, administrator. Why to opt for fundamentals? Because see, if you are going to join Azure 104 batch, then definitely आपके fundamentals तो वहीं पे clear हो जाएंगे, right? So why this combo is introduced? This is all to just get your concept clear, and then you will be able to work on cloud. And as you know, this cloud industry is on boom, you will be able to get your jobs also. Naukri portal pe if you are going, so you will get multiple options of jobs like cloud administrator and all. Okay, just I'll give you my example also, right? I started my journey as a system support engineer, right? I used to work on DNS, I used to work on on-prem data center basically, right? But once my on-prem, like I was able to manage my on-prem data center, right? Then I learned about this console, right? And now I'm working as a cloud engineer, cloud support, operations engineer. Okay, so first we will going to learn about MCSA, right? And then you can go for either of cloud vendor, that like you can join Azure, you can join AWS, you can join Google Cloud, like it's your wish, right? But as we are working on servers, Microsoft servers, so I would recommend, as a Microsoft guy, I would recommend to go for Azure, right? Rest choice is yours. Okay, so I do not have sufficient balance. See, जब भी हम एक free account create करते हैं Azure पे, so you must be heard about that you get around $200 at the time of creation of your account, right? So but I do not have the sufficient balance right now with me because I have already used this account, right? But if you're going to create your new account with your credit or with your Visa debit cards, you will get $200, right? So that $200 will basically help you to create your virtual machine, to select the type of virtual machines that you want to create. Like computation power, you have to choose computation power of your virtual machine, like RAM select karna hai, processor select karna hai, type of hard disk select karna hai, right? So you will get multiple option while you will get the $200, and you will be able to create your virtual machines as per your requirement. Okay, let me check my chat box. I got some messages here. Yeah, so it is first class, right? See, here also you can see get 200 free credit towards Azure products and services plus 12 months of popular free services. Okay, and if you are just going here, you will get some more option, like this one is your dashboard. You can customize your dashboard as per your need, right? आपको यहाँ पर कुछ भी लाना है, यहाँ पे virtual machines का option लाना है, right? And आपके resources का options लाना है. So everything you will be able to customize it. Okay, and you can create your database, you can create Linux virtual machines also if it is needed. Okay, see, AWS, if you are going for AWS, right, then you should have knowledge of Linux, right? If you are well versed with a Linux operating system, then definitely I will recommend you to go for AWS. Okay, but if you are well versed with Microsoft servers, right, then in that case Azure will be the best option. Okay, so here also like app services resource group, also you can monitor your data, right? You can create your load balancers, virtual network if you want to create your virtual network, so that your virtual machines will be able to log in, I mean to say communicate. Right, for now I'm really sorry, I'm not able to show you the practical, because see in my next session, like in my Azure session, I will show you, because I will get the sufficient balance in my account at that time, and I will show you that how to use this console, or how to create the virtual machines, or how to use these load balancers and all. So we are going to cover 104 part, right? And this one is monitor. Monitor in the sense, whatever the infrastructure you have created on cloud, right, you will be able to monitor it. Or even if you want to to set up some rules, so that if any virtual machine is down, and you want, if any virtual machine get down, it will trigger an email to your email account, right? That also we can do with the help of monitoring, but for that we will be needing Exchange server. So I will let you know step by step these things how to do, right? Even I'll try to cover migration part also. Means migration is basically like, if I have some on-prem, if I have some virtual machines running on my Hyper-V, or maybe on VMware, to so how to migrate that virtual machine that is running on VMware to cloud directly. ठीक है, तो कंपनीज में भी ऐसा है, लिफ्ट एंड शिफ्ट होता है. लिफ्ट एंड शिफ्ट इन द सेंस, if let's suppose I do have some servers that are running onto my environment, I want to migrate to the cloud, so then I can do that also, that thing. Okay, give me a moment. Done. Right, so this is the console that we are going to learn under Azure. But once we have to, first of all, we have to get the MCSA knowledge, and then we can go for cloud Azure. Right, so if you already knows about this one MCSA, then you can directly join my Azure batch. But if you are not aware of that, so first of all, cover this MCSA, right? And then you can go for the Azure. Okay, so this is the introduction of this course, like MCSA plus Azure, that is the combo, right? And now we are going to perform our first lab, right? Under which we will be able to assign IPs to our virtual machine automatically. So basically the concept is DHCP, Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol, right? Let me go to the paint. See, so what actually DHCP is? So let's suppose I do have a server and I do have some client machines also. So in my like demo class, right, I shown you that my virtual machine, Windows 10 machine, was able to communicate with my domain controller, right? तो communication कैसे होता है? That is with the help of IP. अब कंप्यूटर क्या समझता है? कंप्यूटर सिर्फ 0-1 की लैंग्वेज समझता है.
Hello. Hi, sir. Good evening.
Yeah, hello, good evening.
Sir, I got an email from networking saying that today was the first class. So I suppose I have not attended any of the previous classes if you have taken any.
Kamran, that was the demo session only, where I just introduced about this course and whatever the topics that we are going to cover under this course. So that was just the introduction part, right?
So basically, I can consider this as a first class today.
Yes, you can consider it.
So one more question I have, is CCNA a prerequisite for this course?
Basic knowledge of networking is needed, that's it.
Nothing in much. If we have not done CCNA, then it is
you
fine.
can, yes, it is fine.
It is fine. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, you must be aware of that. What are the types of classes, IP address? So these
That
things you will be aware of.
basic IP knowledge
Yeah,
only. Yes.
that's it. Right.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So let's suppose I do have some virtual machines in my environment. I'll show you the PPT also for this topic. Okay. First of all, let me clear the concept, like what actually DHCP is. Right. So these machines only can be communicate with the help of IP configuration, or each system should have the unique IP address. There would be no duplicacy. Right. So let's suppose this system is running with 192.168.1.1. Oh, sorry, it should be 1.10. Right. So if you want to communicate with this server, or maybe if you want to communicate with other virtual machines also, right? So then these machines should be assigned with same series of network address, network IP. Right. But if some different series is there, then in that case you have to make sure that routing is there. And we do have example, we do have lab for routing also, need not to worry. Right. For now we are just going to work on the same series of network, but if there is some other series, then in that case we will configure routing. Ideally क्या होता है, routing should be configured on your routers, right? But server has also the capability to act as a router. So on server also we will be able to create the routing. Okay. So this virtual machine should be configured with 192.168.1.11 and so on. Okay, just a second. मैं बाहर लिख देता हूँ यहाँ पे. This would be assigned with 1.12 and this would be assigned with 1.13. Right? And let's suppose this DC is running on 192.168.1.1 and this one is your primary domain controller. Right? So we do have same series of network, right? 192.168.1, 1.0 network I'm using right now. Right? You can see 1.10, 1.11, 1.12, 1.13. So as I'm running on same network series, I will be able to communicate with my PDC. That is why मेरा जो उस दिन Windows 10 का machine था, that was able to communicate with PDC and I was able to join that machine onto my domain. Right? But this we can assign IPs by two ways. Either you can assign these IPs through like static IP you can do, right? Or you can configure your IP with the help of DHCP server. In case of static IP, you have to go to manual, like you have to go to the settings of your network adapter, and over there you will be able to assign the IP to that machine. Right? But अब आप यहाँ पर तो चलो 4 machines है. I will be able to assign the IP statically. कोई दिक्कत नहीं, I will be able to do it. Right? But जहाँ बड़ा environment है, thousands machine है, 5,000 machines है. So क्या हर एक machine की settings में जाऊँ मैं और IP configure करूँ? Right? So for that, I do have the concept of DHCP, that is Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. Right? So anybody knows about that DHCP works on which port number? See, port numbers are the basic things, right? Interviewer gonna ask that on which port number DNS work, on which port number FTP work, HTTP, HTTPS. So I will provide you the sheet also for that, need not to worry. But for now, on which port number DHCP works? Anybody?
53.
No. Okay. So DHCP works on port 67 and 68. Right. So port is basically from where your services are being provided to your clients. Okay. So what we can do in this case, if we want to assign IPs automatically to our virtual machines, we can configure one DHCP server, right? And under this DHCP server, we can define a scope. ये भी one by one बताता हूँ, right? For now, just we have to create a scope. Under this scope, I have to provide the range of IP. Right? So let's suppose आपके पास एक range available है. ये आपको आपकी networking team बताएगी that what range actually you want to use. ठीक है? So I'm just taking an example that I am going to create a scope with the range 1.100 to 192.168.1.200. Right? So under this, I can assign 101 IPs to the client. मतलब 101 clients को I will be able to provide the IP from this scope. Right? जहां पर मेरे पास machines ज्यादा है, in that case I have to change the series class of the network. Right? I can use class B network. Okay. So I will define a scope here, right? And now whosoever system will demand IP from my DHCP server, right? From this range of IP, this DHCP server will provide the IP to the virtual machines. अब यहाँ पे मुझे static define करने की कोई जरूरत नहीं है. Right? So this is the whole concept for your DHCP. We can under this scope we can assign the DNS addresses also. We can assign if any gateway is there, so that gateway also we can assign, right? So that the gateway and DNS addresses are also provided to your client machines. वहां पर भी आपको static जाने की जरूरत नहीं है. From the same scope, in the same scope, you can define your DNS and your router address, gateway address. Right? So this thing we are going to do with the help of DHCP server. Right? Now, guys, if you have any query, you can just unmute yourself and you can ask straight away, right? So my whole module is going to be interactive. Wherever you are facing any kind of issue or you are not able to get the concept, you can just unmute yourself and you can just ask straight away.
Hello.
Yep.
Yes sir. Currently ना मैं as a desktop support engineer काम कर रहा हूँ. So आज ही मैंने इशू फेस किया. मतलब हम लोग का ना DHCP फुल हुआ था.
Okay.
So कुछ यूजर्स को ना अपिपा IP आ रहा था.
Exactly. Right.
So हमारी एक अलग टीम है. मतलब नेटवर्क टीम अलग है और सर्वर टीम अलग है.
Okay.
So I coordinate with my Windows team. So they just refresh the scope. And after that ना some IPs are refreshed. मतलब कुछ IP फ्री हो गए. उसके बाद 157 IPs फ्री हो गए. उसके बाद फिर इशू यूजर्स को इशू आना रिजॉल्व हो गया उनका. Yes sir.
Right.
Yeah.
So it could be the issue because see कई बार क्या होता है देखो एक ना lease time होता है. Whenever you are creating any DHCP server, वहां पे एक default lease time create होता है. लीज टाइम मतलब कि कितने टाइम के लिए आईपी असाइंड रहेगी आपके सिस्टम्स को. राइट? बाय डिफॉल्ट इट इज ऑफ 8 days. राइट? तो 8 दिन के अंदर अगर मान लो कोई क्लाइंट कम्युनिकेट नहीं करेगा, राइट, तो वो जो आईपी होगा वो फ्री हो जाएगा.
Okay.
Right? You have to just refresh your scope and that IP can be assigned to the other system.
Okay sir.
That actually happened with your in your case.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so let me go to that PPT.
So what is this PDC and all which you wrote over there? PDC?
That is primary domain controller, but for now need not to worry about PDC and all. So see, domain controller, जब भी आप एक domain को, if you want to manage your devices, if you want to manage your users, so for that you have to create a domain controller. Okay, so under that domain controller, you will be able to get the options of your users and computers, and then OUs, and then you can create your groups also, right? So I will explain in the DC topic. Once we'll touch up the DC, na, I will let you know. Okay.
Actually, in what order are we covering the topics? Actually, I didn't attend the demo class, and that's why I think I'm facing that issue.
Okay. So first, I want you guys to get the concept of IP configuration, right?
Okay.
Once you will be able to configure your DHCP server, once you will be able to communicate, you will be able to understand this communication part, and then we will going to start our primary domain controller, PDC. Okay. Matlab, we do have 4 types of domain controllers. That is primary domain, additional domain, child domain, and read-only domain controller. Right. So these all 4 we will do one by one. Okay. Now, what is DHCP? So as I told you that DHCP stands for Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. Right. The main purpose of DHCP is to automate the management and configuration IP address across a network so that IPs don't need to be manually assigned by an admin each time a device connects. ठीक है, तो मैंने बताया जैसे जब भी आपकी मशीन्स को कम्युनिकेट करना है, these machines only can be communicate with the help of IP, right? And each system should be configured with the unique IP. There should be not any duplicacy. Right? Once you will be once your machines will get the IP from your DHCP, they will be able to communicate even within the machine, within these virtual machines. These machines will also be able to communicate if they are in the same network. Okay. Then DHCP अब assign हो रहा है IP, right? IP is getting assigned automatically to your virtual machines or whatever kind of like hardware also, like if you're talking about the on-prem things, right? So in that case also, जब भी आप अपने system अपने net office में लेके जाते हो, आप LAN लगाते हो या फिर आप Wi-Fi से connect करते हो, so automatically का IP assign हो जाता है, right? So how it is actually happening? कुछ process होगा जो उसके पीछे काम कर रहा होगा, right? So that is DORA process. For interview point of view, it is also important. They will gonna ask that what actually DORA is. Okay. So now, what is DORA? D as in discover, O as an offer, R request, and A acknowledgement. Right? अब ये client machine है, right? ये let's suppose मैंने अपनी company में एक नया laptop, I procured a new laptop, right? So अब इसको मेरे network का first time it is going to connect to my network. तो इसको तो मेरे network के बारे में कुछ भी नहीं पता है, बिल्कुल नया है, मेरे पूरे एनवायरनमेंट में एक बिल्कुल नया पीसी आया है, राइट? सो हाउ दिस मशीन विल बी एबल टू कम्युनिकेट, और ये इस मशीन को पता कैसे लगेगा कि DHCP सर्वर नाम की कोई चीज है मेरे एनवायरनमेंट में, सो दैट आई कैन गेट द IP फ्रॉम DHCP, राइट? तो जो ये नया मशीन है, सो दिस मशीन फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल गोइंग टू सेंड अ डिस्कवर पैकेट along with its MAC address, along with its physical address. Right? इसने डिस्कवर कर दिया, इसने अपना डिस्कवर पैकेट भेजा पूरे एनवायरनमेंट में, राइट? तो जो भी DHCP सर्वर होगा एनवायरनमेंट में आपके, that DHCP is going to pick that discover request. नहीं होगा तो it will get the PIPA IP.
Which IP, sir?
APIPA.
What is that?
That is basically if your machine is not getting IP from your DHCP server, so every network card has its own
Oh,
network
169,
IP.
169 series.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
That is APIPA.
Okay.
Right. So once this DHCP server will be able to get this discover packet, it will offer the IP from its scope. जो scope हमने यहाँ बनाया, ये scope हमने बनाया, right? So इस scope में से कोई भी एक IP DHCP server will offer to the client. पहले discover हुआ, discover करके DHCP server ने packet catch किया, right? And after that, this DHCP server will going to offer the IP that is available in its scope. Right? So once it will going to offer the IP, then DHCP client, this machine will going to send the request that yes, please assign this IP to me. I'm okay with this IP. Right? And after this DHCP request, server will going to acknowledgement. This server will going to send the acknowledgement that yes, this IP is assigned to you, and this IP, whatever the IP is assigned to this system, that is going to be stored in the DHCP server's database, so that वो IP किसी और system को assign हो. Because in the अगर किसी system को assign होता, then there could be some network congestion, but DHCP server कभी ऐसी गलती करता नहीं है. That can be done statically. अगर हम कोई static कर रहे हैं, उस केस में हम कोई दो duplicate IP assign maybe हम कर सकते हैं, right? But DHCP will assign the static, is going to assign the unique IP only, right? And that unique IP will be stored in the database of the DHCP along with the MAC address of the system. राइट वो क्या करेगा, एक तो आईपी स्टोर करेगा एंड देन सिस्टम का मैक एड्रेस भी स्टोर कर लेगा, सो दैट इन नियर फ्यूचर वट एवर द लीज टाइम बी देयर. राइट, अब लीज टाइम क्या होता है, जैसे हम लोग रेंट पे लेते हैं, कोई हाउस रेंट पे लेते हैं, राइट, तो हमें हर एक महीने के बाद क्या रेंट पे करना होता है, राइट. सो एट द सेम टाइम डीएचसीपी सर्वर भी कुछ ऐसा ही करता है, right? For a period of time only, it is going to assign the IP to this machine. ठीक है, तो उसके बाद क्या होगा, या तो उसको DHCP क्लाइंट को दोबारा आके कम्युनिकेट करना पड़ेगा DHCP सर्वर के साथ विद इन दैट लीज टाइम ओनली. कि मतलब लेट्स सपोज अगर 8 दिन का लीज टाइम है, राइट, सो इन दैट केस दिस सिस्टम शुड मेक श्योर कि 8 दिन, मतलब 8 दिन पूरे होने से पहले ये इससे कम्युनिकेट कर ले. If it is not going to communicate with this IP, with this server, then this IP will be freed up and it can be assigned to the other clients. Any query? Yes or no? Silent means
No,
do,
sir.
How is the DHCP client reaching the DHCP server?
because it will send the request packet, discover request packet.
Okay, only in one pool of network, only one DHCP server can exist.
It depends. If there are multiple DHCP servers, so it will reach to the like easiest or closest way.
But there is a
The best
possibility
way.
that two can exist. More than one can also exist.
It may possible. Right.
Okay.
Let's suppose you have some floors in your office, first floor, second floor, third floor. Right. So in that case, we can segregate our network. In that case, we can build multiple. वैसे जरूरत नहीं है, on a single server also we will be able to do it. But if you want to do, if you have the big traffic, right, in that case you can do.
Okay.
But a single server can also manage all these things. क्लियर? चलें आगे।
गेटवे भी सर वही ऑफर करता है, डीएचसीपी सर्वर ही इस क्लाइंट को गेटवे बताएगा ना, जबकि जब आईपी कंफर्म हो जाएगी एक्नॉलेजमेंट के बाद तो सारी डिटेल्स मिलेंगी।
सभी डिटेल्स, whatever the DNS servers you have configured, whatever the gateway you have, or you are going to provide any kind of gateway manually, everything will be provided to your client. Okay, within scope we will define everything, don't worry. Once we'll do this lab now, you will be able to get it.
Okay.
Sir, one thing I want to ask.
Hanji.
This DHCP, where we can configure in router or in Windows?
So this is what I told you, like it can be configured on, first of all, if you are talking about in real time, it should be configured on your routers or maybe on your L3 switches, right? But server has also the capability to work as a DHCP, राइट? कंसेप्ट उनमें भी सेम है, राउटर भी काम सेम कर रहा है, वहां भी आप स्कोप बनाओगे, वहां भी आप अपना DNS एड्रेसेस सेव करवाओगे, देन गेटवे एंड व्हाटएवर you want to provide, right? And same thing you can do, you are going to do it on your server also. आपका जो सर्वर है, राइट, आप नेटिंग करते हो, नेटिंग कहाँ करते हो आप? नेट, नेटवर्क एड्रेस ट्रांसलेशन, राउटर्स पे,
राउटर,
राइट? बट मैं ऑन अ सर्वर आल्सो यू विल बी एबल टू डू इट, एक सर्वर पे भी आप ये काम कर सकते हो. A server can also be configured with the NAT, and we are going to cover it. We are going to create the lab for NAT also with the help of servers, right? हमें concept सीखना है, right? उसके बाद आप चाहे यहाँ पे सर्वर पे कॉन्फ़िगर कर लो, you will be able to configure it on your routers also, right? Or maybe if there is any need, so you can tell your IT manager and all that we can create these things on our server also. जहाँ पर let's suppose there is a remote location, you do have some server only, but you don't have router and all, managed routers, like where you will be able to configure it, right? So then in that case you can use your servers. Okay, अब DHCP तो आप एक Linux server पे भी कॉन्फ़िगर कर सकते हो. Okay, so we can configure, there are multiple options available to configure all these things, like आप DNS server एक Linux server को भी बना सकते हो, that also we can do. But वही अगर आप Linux पे काम करते हो, so you should be aware of Linux, you should be aware of that commands. Okay, चलो, so let's move forward. So this is the DORA process: discover, offer, request, and acknowledgement, right? Then this is the basically difference between your DHCP and manual IP. In case of DHCP, IP can be assigned automatically. In this case, we are going to assign manually. Correct configuration is ensured. Yes, obviously, if we are going to do automation, then obviously the correct configuration can take place, right? But manually, we can make any mistake. It may possible, right? So obviously, if we are making any kind of mistake, so there could be some network congestion issues, right? But here, client configuration is updated automatically. Then this is the DHCP lease timing. By default, the DHCP lease time in case of server, it is 8 days. But if you want to increase, we can do that. If you want to increase it by 30 days, we can do it. Or if you want to make it 2 days, we can also do it, right? But by default, it is of 8 days. Right? So DHCP lease timing is after 50% of lease time passed, client sends a request packet and server sends a acknowledgement packet. See, Let's suppose the lease timing is 8 days. Okay. So after 4 days, if this system is in my network, right? So then in that case, it will send the request packet to DHCP server that yes, I still exist in the network. अभी हमने वो एग्जांपल लिया ना जिस केस में 8 दिन तक अगर आपका क्लाइंट कोई कम्युनिकेट नहीं कर पाता, सो इन दैट केस आईपी फ्री हो जाता है. सो दिस इज व्हाट एक्चुअली आई एम एक्सप्लेनिंग. Right? So after 4 days, what is it is going to do? It is going to send a discover packet again. That yes, I still exist in the network. So keep assign this IP to me only.
Sir, sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, please.
मेरा एक डाउट ये है कि सपोज मैंने नया ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ज्वाइन किया और
Okay.
मुझे एक नया लैपटॉप मिलता है या सिस्टम असाइन किया जाता है.
Okay.
और मैं फर्स्ट 7 या 8 डेज मैं लॉग इन नहीं करता हूँ सिस्टम पे जो मुझे
Okay.
असाइन किया गया है. तो क्या उसकी आईपी फ्री करके किसी और को असाइन कर दी जाएगी और फिर वो डोमेन से हट जाएगा वो सिस्टम?
डोमेन से नहीं हटेगा वो. It will still be in the domain. Okay, but IP will be distributed to some other device, or after 8 days, if you're going in your office, then a new IP will be assigned to that system, and then again you will be able to communicate with your domain.
Okay, so login वगैरह में कुछ changes तो नहीं आएंगे?
कुछ भी issue नहीं आएगा.
Thank you.
Okay, so in this case, what I was telling you that after 4 days, it is going to send the discover packet again that yes, I still exist in the network and keep assign this IP to me only. Right? Still, if it is not able to communicate with this 50% of lease time, means within 4 days, if it is not able to communicate with the DHCP server, then again after 87.5, maybe after, like you can assume it like after 6 days again, it is going to send the discover packet that yes, still I exist in the network. If I missed the 50% lease timing, मतलब अगर मैंने 4 दिन के अंदर रिक्वेस्ट नहीं भेजा, right? तो again after 6 days, it is going to send the discover packet. Right? तो discover packet भेजा उसने, फिर से DHCP ने acknowledge कर लिया कि ठीक है, this IP still belongs to you. But अगर if I miss the 6 days also, in that case, again, this system has to follow DORA process. And in that case, the other IP will be assigned to this system. Right? तो क्या हुआ यहाँ पे? अब इसका पूरा कम्युनिकेट, पूरे लीज टाइम इसका जा चुका है, right? And उसके बाद अगर it is going to communicate with this DHCP, then this DHCP will assign some other IP. Okay, but if you want, आप चाहते हो कि एक ही IP हमेशा एक सिस्टम को असाइन रहे, वो भी हम कर सकते हैं. Because see, in our top management, it used to happen, right? That we have to assign a particular IP to a system only. Of like, let's suppose आपको कोई director है, right? So in that case, we want only 1.10 IP should be assigned to his system. So that also we can do. हम क्या कर सकते हैं? हम इस IP को इस सिस्टम के MAC एड्रेस के साथ बाइंड कर देंगे. तो उसके लिए अब लीज टाइमिंग वाला प्रोसेस बिल्कुल खत्म हो जाएगा. अब चाहे ये 1 साल के बाद आए, चाहे ये 10 साल के बाद आए, the IP still belongs to this system only. Why? Because we binded the MAC address of the system. So this option also will get in the DHCP configuration.
सर अगर किसी डिवाइस में स्टैटिक आईपी डाल दी हमने,
हाँ जी,
और उसके बाद उसमें स्टैटिक आईपी डाल दी, अभी सपोज वो हमारे सर्वर से कनेक्ट, ऑफिस में वो किसी एक डीएचसीपी सर्वर से कनेक्ट है, ठीक है, ऑफिस से प्रोमाइसेस के बाहर अगर वो निकलता है, तो अगर कोई होम नेटवर्क में यूज कर रहा है तो वहां पे तो मुझे लगता है शायद उसका एक घर का राउटर उसको देगा आईपी.
एग्जैक्टली.
तो तब नेट चलेगा, उस पर नहीं चलेगा सर?
नहीं, अगर उसके पास स्टैटिक आईपी असाइंड है और आपके ऑफिस का है, सो your router will not be able to assign the IP. So you have to change the configuration to automatically. ठीक है,
Okay.
नेटवर्क एडेप्टर में जाके उसको ऑटोमेटिकली करोगे, तब जाके आपका राउटर उसको आईपी असाइन करेगा।
और तो फिर अगले दिन अगर सपोज वो बंदा ऑफिस आता है, फिर मैन्युअली डालना पड़ेगा चलाने।
बिल्कुल 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 बिल्कुल।
I think it is a tedious process.
Yes. And guys, one more thing, whatever the server you are going to configure in your environment, it should be configured with the static IP. सर्वर्स पे कभी भी हम डायनेमिक आईपी नहीं डालते। लाइक ऐसा कोई रूल नहीं है, राइट, कि आप हम नहीं डाल सकते हैं, सर्वर विल गोइंग टू वर्क, राइट, बट इट इज रिकमेंडेड दैट वी शुड असाइन स्टैटिक आईपी टू आवर सर्वर्स, क्योंकि सर्वर्स का क्या काम है, सर्विसेज देना,
उसको तो ट्रैक करना है, ऐसा
उसको ट्रैक करना है, राइट। अगर इसका आईपी लेट्स सपोज कभी चेंज हो जाता है, राइट, तब तो मेरी सर्विसेज डिस्ट्रीब्यूट नहीं हो पाएंगी,
रिमोट
मेरे
कैसे
क्लाइंट्स
आए।
को तो एग्जैक्टली,
सही है,
right? So it's always your server should be assigned with the static IP. Apart from that, your clients you can configure it with the DHCP. Clients को हमेशा DHCP से IP मिले, and then your server should be assigned with the static IP. Okay. So hope it is clear till now. Any query you can ask.
fine sir, till now fine.
Great.
What will be the timings for this batch, sir?
We'll discuss it later. Okay. Let's complete this topic. Okay. Now we do have DHCP failover. This is the other concept. Like let's suppose, मैं आपको first topic में बता रहा था, first lecture में, that let's suppose if my primary DHCP server will get down, जहाँ से मेरी IP configure हो रही है, right? So in that case, how I will be able to manage my clients? ठीक है, so for that I can configure DHCP failover. Okay, इसके बारे में बात करेंगे. For now, let's configure the DHCP only. Okay, so I'm going to use my VMware. So if you guys want to work on Hyper-V, you can configure your DHCP on Hyper-V as well. Okay. So here, so I already have one domain controller. Okay, so I'm just going to use that domain controller. Okay, and it is not recommended that you should configure DHCP on a DC only. ठीक है, आप इसके अलावा आप एक स्टैंड अलोन या फिर एक मेंबर सर्वर, मेंबर मतलब जो आपकी डोमेन का पार्ट है, राइट, डोमेन, अब जरूरी नहीं है कि आप डोमेन कंट्रोलर पे ही DHCP कॉन्फ़िगर करो, इट कैन बी कॉन्फ़िगर्ड ऑन एनी ऑफ योर सर्वर, बट दैट शुड बी बिलोंग्स टू योर नेटवर्क. ओके, सो अर्लियर व्हाट आई डिड इज, जो हमने पहले क्लाइंट में 10 मशीन को ज्वाइन करवाया था डोमेन, मैंने स्टैटिक आईपी उसको असाइन किया था. ओके, बट नाउ आई विल असाइन द आईपी फ्रॉम माय DHCP सर्वर. Okay, so let me show you my IP configuration that is assigned to this machine, right? ncpa.cpl. So this is the shortcut to get your network adapter, right? And even I will provide you a sheet wherever you will get, where you will be able to get the shortcuts that can be used in your servers, right? So जैसे आप एक्टिव डायरेक्टरी एक्सेस करना है, आपको फायरवॉल एक्सेस करना है, राइट, सो ये सारी चीज आप शॉर्टकट्स के थ्रू कर सकते हैं, राइट. लेट्स सपोज अभी ऑलरेडी मेरे दिस इज अ PDC, राइट, so if I want to access my users and computer, so I can use one shortcut, that is DSA.MSC, right. Same in case if you want to access firewall, so you can use firewall.cpl, right. So we do have multiple shortcuts key available, so I will help you out time to time. Even I will upload it onto your portal, so you will be able to use it in your routine life, right? Okay. Okay, so I was just showing you the status of my network. See, so this server, this domain controller is running with 192.168.1.1, and 1.1 is my DNS address also. Means if I want to join any of my client machine, to my domain. So in that case, this 1.1 IP should be assigned to my client. Then only my clients will be able to communicate with my lab.com. So lab.com is my domain name. ठीक है, अब आपको डीएनएस कंसेप्ट, वी डू हैव अ टॉपिक ऑफ डीएनएस आल्सो. तो डीएनएस क्या करता है, हमारी क्वेरीज को रिजॉल्व करता है फ्रॉम नेम टू आईपी एंड आईपी टू नेम, राइट. अगर मैं इसको डीएनएस असाइन ना करूं, सो लेट मी जस्ट टर्न ऑन दिस मशीन आल्सो. These snapshots and all, how to take it, what are the advantages of all these things, so I will let you know. Okay,
सर ये वर्चुअलाइजेशन हाइपर वी यूज करना है, VMware, ये इसका कुछ है, कुछ हमको कौन सा यूज करना है?
हम दोनों पे काम करेंगे.
एक्चुअली मुझे दोनों का आइडिया नहीं है सर, अभी मैंने कुछ इनेबल नहीं करा है.
डोंट वरी, जस्ट डू लेट मी नो अगर कोई आपको इशू आ रहा है, सो यू कैन लेट मी नो और आई विल हेल्प यू आउट ड्यूरिंग द कॉन्फ़िगरेशन ऑफ ऑल दिस. ठीक है. Okay, so let me go to the settings. ये वर्चुअल मशीन मेरी थोड़ी सी स्लो है, it may take some time. Okay, so let me just check this IP. So you can see here I have assigned a static IP, right? यहाँ पे कोई obtain IP automatically नहीं है. So once I will select this option, obtain an IP address automatically, then this machine is going to send the request packet, discover packet, right? So it will going to send the discover packet so that it will be able to communicate with the DHCP, and then DHCP will be able to assign a IP to this machine. ठीक है, बट अब यहाँ पर क्या, आई वाज जस्ट लेटिंग यू नो द कंसेप्ट ऑफ डीएनएस, जस्ट एक ब्रीफ है, राइट? उसके बाद में आई विल लेट यू नो, जस्ट वंस विल गो थ्रू विद द डीएनएस टॉपिक.
और सर इस
I will
केस
let you
में
know.
सर्वर 2016 will play the role of DHCP.
Exactly.
Okay.
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 See, so if I want to communicate with my DC, I'm going to my command prompt. Okay, and I'm going to ping that IP 192.168.1.1. See, I'm able to get the response. Why? Because I am on the same network, right? But if you want to communicate with my domain name, so what do you think? Will I be able to communicate? Yes or no?
The same DNS address, then only we can communicate.
Exactly. See, उसको पता ही नहीं, उसको पता ही नहीं कि उसकी क्वेरी रिजॉल्व कैसे होगी, उसको पता नहीं lab.com कुछ है भी आपके पास. To resolve that query, this system should be assigned with the DNS address. Now try. See, I'm able to get the response because अब उसको तरीका पता लग गया. This system now knows how the name request can be resolved, right? So this is all with the help of DNS, right? Okay. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, अब मैं यहाँ से static एक तो हटा देता हूँ. So I'm going to do select obtain IP automatically and obtain DNS server address automatically. Then okay, okay, and that's it. So can anybody tell, so what kind of IP I'm getting right now on this machine? still DHCP server is not configured in my environment. So what kind of IP I will get in this case?
Okay, then in that case, static.
Exactly. So you can check it. Go to status.
I forgot that you have not configured it to the DHCP server yet.
Okay. See, because see, you have to set DHCP enabled to hai. It is sending the discover packet. But discover packet catch कौन करेगा? कोई तो we should have DHCP server ना, right? So this is why we are getting the PIPA IP. So we have to change it with the DHCP server. Okay. Now go to server 16. So see, the server should be configured with the static IP. Okay. Close it. And now go to server manager. So guys, this is the server, this is the console from where you are going to install any kind of feature onto your server. यहाँ से सब कुछ manage होगा. Remove करना है कोई feature, install करना है, right? You have to make any kind of group, server group, or other servers to manage, right? So everything we can do it from this console. I will let you know this concept how we can do this thing. ठीक है, तो मतलब आप एक ही सर्वर से you can manage your multiple servers if you are going to select this option, right? We will have lab for this. Okay, but now go to add roles and features. Next, so first of all we are going to install role based, and for remote desktop services we are going to select this option. ठीक है, so select role based. So this one is the server name, right? And this one is the IP address, and this is the operating system version. Then next, okay, so we are going to work on DHCP. So you have to select DHCP server, right? And then add feature, right? And whatever the role you are going to install, you can read its description here. Okay, so DHCP server you want to select, then next, again next. So whatever the prerequisites required to configure your DHCP, it is going to auto select. ठीक है, उसको जो भी features चाहिए, it will going to select automatically. You need not to do anything, right? But अगर जहां हमें failover, जहां हमें कुछ other feature install करने हैं, in that case we will select these things, right? But it should be like it, you have to leave it as it is, right? Next, next, confirmation, restart. Just for a extra care, you can select this option, restart if required. Like during any kind of installation, if server needed the restart, then it will take the restart automatically. Okay, then DHCP and then install.
So second option जो था installation type, that what was the installation type? One was role based and second was remote desktop based.
Yep, yep.
What that mean? Remote desktop.
That is the kind of service that is remote desktop services, right? Through which you will be able to publish your application, and your clients will be able to access that application remotely.
Actually, at the time of installation, type it ask that what type of आपको कैसे चाहिए, रोल बेस्ड चाहिए या रिमोट डेस्कटॉप बेस्ड चाहिए. तो वो रोल बेस्ड तो समझ में आ रहा है सर, बट रिमोट डेस्कटॉप का समझ में नहीं आया कि वो दूसरा ऑप्शन क्यों है.
बिकॉज उसको रिमोट, वो उसका फीचर अलग है ना, उसको फीचर ही अलग है वो. दैट इज फॉर RDS सर्विसेज, रिमोट डेस्कटॉप सर्विसेज, जहां पर आप क्या करते हो, आप अपनी कोई भी एप्लीकेशन पब्लिश करवाते हो और अपने क्लाइंट्स को बोलते हो टू कनेक्ट इट विद द हेल्प ऑफ रिमोट डेस्कटॉप.
ओके,
जैसे RDP करते हो ना, वैसे सेम वे से देयर इज अ ऑप्शन फॉर RDS आल्सो. ओके
सर एक क्वेश्चन था.
हाँ जी.
ये जो सेटअप है हमें लेटेस्ट 2022 पे सेटअप करना है या 16 पे करना है?
सेम है, किसी पे भी कर लो, देयर इज नॉट एनी restriction, right? Because
नहीं,
see 2022 is still not, companies are not using 2022 right now. ठीक
ओके
है, so either you can go for 2016 or you can go for 2019.
सर ये दोनों में मेनली डिफरेंस क्या है, कुछ बता पाएंगे?
कुछ as such there is not a big difference, the console will remain same, right? The difference क्या है, 2016 के पास थोड़ा extra features available है. For example, it has a feature of nano server.
ओके सर.
Okay, but 2019 doesn't have. ठीक है, जैसे जैसे जो ये आपके वर्जन्स इंक्रीज हो रहे हैं तो उनके अकॉर्डिंग ही आपको अपने रिसोर्सेज भी मैनेज करने पड़ेंगे. अब एक 2012 सर्वर को आप आराम से 4 GB या फिर 8 GB रैम पे रन कर सकते हो. इट डजंट रिक्वायर एज मच कंप्यूटेशन पावर, राइट? बट जस्ट ऐसे ही आप 2019 या फिर 2022 यूज करते हो, इन दैट केस यू शुड हैव द गुड कॉन्फ़िगरेशन.
और सर एक क्वेश्चन और था कि जैसे अभी हमने 2015 में MCSA किया था, तो अभी इसके अभी तो सर्टिफिकेशन बंद हो गया, तो इसकी जगह पे क्या सर्टिफिकेट करना चाहिए?
Azure 104.
और सर 800 करके जो आता है वो क्या है?
900 आता है फंडामेंटल्स.
नहीं, एक 800 टाइप से मैंने देखा.
हाँ, that also you can do. That is also administrative level, which basically authenticates you that you should have knowledge of, that you have the knowledge of MCSA.
ओके.
But I would recommend go for 104. अगर कंपनी करवा रही है तो कोई भी कर लो, but if you have to pay by your own, then I should recommend to go for 104.
ओके सर, थैंक यू.
Yeah. Okay, so let's close it. Go to this notification bar and complete DHCP configuration. Now next and commit, and then close it. Right now go to tools and go to DHCP. See, this one is your server one. Okay, so you can configure your scope for IPv4 and for IPv6. जिसके लिए भी करना है, you can configure it. Right? So we are going to create it for IPv4. Right click on IPv4 and we are going to create first of all new scope. Then next scope. So you have to define a scope name also. Let's suppose I'm going to assign it scope 1. Description, if you want that this scope is for IT team, or this scope is for first floor. मतलब जो भी आपको लिखना है description, आप इसको blank भी छोड़ोगे, that is also fine. Okay. Then next, so here we are going to select the range of IP address. Okay, so in our case, I have decided to take it as 192.168.1.100 to 192.168.1.200. By default, the subnet mask of class C is 255.255.255.0 and the CIDR value of class C network address is 24. But if you did the subnetting, in that case, देखो जैसे ही आपने CIDR value change करोगे 23, आपका subnet mask भी change हो गया. This is in case if you did the subnetting in your network. Okay, I'm going to take it by default. Then next, add exclusion and delay. If I want to exclude any IP, means अब देखो 1.100 से मैंने 200 तक लिया, राइट? अब मैं चाहता हूं कि 1.100 से 1.10 तक मैं क्या करूं, एक्सक्लूड करा दूं, क्योंकि 1.100 से 1.10 तक मैं वो आईपी स्टैटिकली असाइन करना चाहता हूँ अपने, लेट्स सपोज मैं अपने प्रिंटर को असाइन करना चाहता हूँ, एंड लेट्स सपोज मैं उसको हमारे सर्वर्स को असाइन करना चाहता हूँ, बिकॉज सी सर्वर्स को तो हमेशा वी आर गोइंग टू असाइन द स्टैटिक आईपी. Okay, so in that case, if I want to specify or to if I want to exclude the range, I can do that. ठीक है, तो उस रेंज में से कभी भी क्लाइंट को आईपी असाइन नहीं होगा. Let me show you. So what I'm going to do is 192.168.1.102, or let's suppose 1012, 192.168.1.110 and add. So this IP range is excluded from this scope. अब जो IP असाइन होगा वो 111 के बाद असाइन होगा, right? Now next, so see, this is the lease duration. By default, it is for 8 days. Okay, but if you want to increase it, you can do that as per your need or as per your IT policy. देखो हर एक कंपनी की अपनी एक IT policy होती है, and you have to follow it. And according to that, you have to run your environment as a system administrator, right? हर एक policy in the sense there must be some group policies, right? So every system should be compliant to that policies that is defined by your IT manager or by your company, जैसे भी. ठीक है, जहां स्पेशल नीड है, so you will be needing the approval from that particular teams manager, है ना? तो वहां पर आपको एक्स्ट्रा अप्रूवल की जरूरत होगी. अकॉर्डिंग टू दैट फिर आप उसमें कुछ भी कस्टमाइजेशन कर सकते हो. ओके, सो let's suppose it is 23 or whatever you are going to decide, you can do that. Then next, then configure DHCP options. Yes, I want to configure these options now. Next, now this is the gateway. For now, I do not have any gateway address, right? Gateway is only if, let's suppose, I do have multiple range of IPs, multiple class of IPs. In that case, in order to communicate with that IPs, there should be a gateway address, there should be a router address, right? But if you are going to communicate within the network, then in that case it is not needed. But जहां आपकी IP range अलग हो जाएगी, in that case we will be needing router so that we will be able to communicate with other cities also. ठीक है, just to show you, it is not applicable for us, but just to show you, I'm just going to assign 1.1. जरूरत नहीं है, but still you will be able to see that yes, router is also, gateway is also assigned to the computer, your machine. Okay, now next, then this one is the DNS server. Okay, I already have 1.1 DNS server configured in my environment, so that is why it is already selected here.
So 1.1 तो किसी और को दिया था ना IP शायद?
No, 1.1 is running with this system. इसी को तो assign है lab.com को.
तो गेटवे में भी वही IP रहेगी सर?
हाँ, it can be there. Just to show you, आप चाहो तो कोई और IP assign कर लो यहाँ पे. Okay, if you want, you can assign some other IP also. मैं सिर्फ आपको एग्जांपल दे रहा हूँ. जब बस once we will configure routing, तो वहां पर आपको और इजीली समझ आ जाएगा. ठीक है, ये देखो 1.1. Okay, so but let's suppose if you do have some other IP, other DNS address, right? Let's suppose you do have Google DNS address 8.8.8.8. So I can add that also. But yes, it is not, it will not be able to validate it because this system is not connected with the internet, right? But still I will be able to add it. ठीक है, ये क्वेरी तो मेरी तभी रिजोल्व होगी ना जब इंटरनेट पे चल रहा होगा ये सर्वर. सी, the IP address is not a valid DNS address. Why? Because it is the Google address, and it only will be able to communicate once the machine will get the internet. Okay, but still, do you still want to add it? Yes, I want to. Right. So by same way, you can add multiple DNS addresses at a time. Okay. Then next, this is Wins server. That is basically to identify Windows system on your network address, on your network, but it is not needed. DNS will take care of everything. Okay, NetBIOS computer क्या होता है? Basically, it is the host name of your computer. So if you want to communicate, if you want to ping a computer with its name, in that case, Win server is needed, right? But now, no need of Win server. Your DNS server will also be able to ping your system with its name. So वो DNS सारा काम कर देगा अपना. Okay. Now next, yes, I want to activate this scope now. Next, and then finish. That's it. So we do have a scope with address pool from 101 to 110, right? And from 101 to 100 is the excluded range, right? We do have from 100 to 200, right? And address leases is the option, like it is the here we will be able to see whosoever system will get the IP from our DHCP server, right? We will be able to see its entry here. ठीक है, एक बार refresh करो, maybe Windows 10 को assign भी हो गया हो. Just try to refresh it. See, so this 1.100 IP is assigned to this system.
ये Windows 10 का VM है सर.
Let me check the status details. Okay, let me refresh it. Second, एक बार इसको disable करके enable कर लेते हैं, so that it will be able to send the discover packet again. See, IP is assigned. You can see lab.com here. Okay, and we can check. ये VMware में होता है actually ये system. एक मिनट में पहले IP check कर लूँ. Details. Okay, 111 IP is assigned to the system. Right. First IP हमेशा ये VMware के केस में होता है. First IP will be assigned internally to the system, right? And the other series will be assigned to your virtual machines. Now go to your server. Right. If you want to check, the host name is desktop 8Q6E. ये हमने change नहीं किया. We should change it, but कोई ना. Let's go to command prompt and we can type host name. See, 8QEIL6. 8QEIL6.
सर 100 वाली IP किसको गई सर?
100 IP, ये this is because of VMware only.
बट किसी को allocate हुआ होगा ना सर?
हाँ, जो मेरा बेस मशीन है वो उसको allocate हुआ है.
जिसपे ये
रन कर
वर्चुअल मशीन रन कर रही है.
Exactly. Okay.
तो उस हर बेस मशीन को सर एक IP तो चाहिए होगी.
ये तो already I am running internet on my base.
Okay. तो VMware में.
But इस बेस मशीन पे एक VMware का भी नेटवर्क एडेप्टर क्रिएट हो जाता है. Okay, तो उसको असाइन हो जाता है.
ठीक है सर. ओके.
So in case of hypervisor, जो primary allocation हुआ नेटवर्क का वो नहीं होगा.
No, in case of Hyper-V it will not be there. because there you can configure your own network switch.
Okay.
Chalo. So client 10. Okay, so here you can see the IP is assigned, and even you can see gateway is also provided. DHCP to 1.1 hai already, and DNS server is also 1.1, and 8.8.8 is assigned by the DHCP. Same way, if I'm going to turn on any other machine, that also will get the IP. So it's just, let me show you with the example of this server. I'm going to power it on. But if any kind of service is configured onto the server, then it should be configured with the static IP. Okay, this is just to show you. This is just for an example only, because I do not have as much virtual machines configured for now. But yes, in my next class, I will configure one more client 10 machine and one Windows 7 machine also. Okay, so you can log in onto it. See, IP is also assigned to this system, and you can check it in the database. Just refresh and see.
सर ये सर्वर वन आपका एडिशनल डोमेन कंट्रोलर था लास्ट टाइम जब आपने क्रिएट करा?
नहीं, सर्वर वन, हाँ, ये तो एक फ्रेश सर्वर था जो मैंने कॉन्फ़िगर करके दिखाया था आपको. इसमें अभी कुछ भी कॉन्फ़िगर नहीं है. ओके, ये जस्ट this is just a fresh machine, that's it. I haven't configured any kind of feature onto this. So will I be able to communicate with lab.com? पिंग होगा क्या मेरा मशीन अगर मैं पिंग करता हूं अभी?
हाँ, सेम डीएनएस एड्रेस है तो होगा.
सेम एड्रेस क्यों है आपको? वी हैव असाइंड द डीएनएस एड्रेस ना फ्रॉम दिस DHCP, सो ऑब्वियसली फिर तो होगा ही होगा अगर उसके पास DNS मिल गया है.
ओके सर, हाँ,
राइट,
हाँ.
सी है ना? सेम इन दिस केस आल्सो फ्रॉम सर्वर वन आल्सो यू कैन चेक. सॉरी, lab.com पिंग, IP से तो पिंग होगा ही होगा, राइट? सी, वी आर गेटिंग द रिस्पॉन्स, राइट? अब आप अपने क्लाइंट मशीन को डोमेन में ज्वाइन करवा सकते हो. Just go to sysdm.cpl. Change domain name भी चेंज करना है कर लो ये. Let's suppose मैं इसका नाम रखता हूँ win-10 and then lab.com is my domain name. Have to give the admin approval. Sorry. That's it. Okay. Okay. Close. Restart now. Right. And this entry will be available. तो ये तो आपके DHCP का, राइट? और जो डोमेन ज्वाइन कराया है उसकी एंट्री आप कहाँ देख सकते हो? अपने AD यूजर्स एंड कंप्यूटर्स में. ये कैसे आया अभी हमने कॉन्फ़िगर नहीं किया है. AD को अभी भूल जाओ, राइट? आई एम जस्ट शोइंग यू. Window 10 entries there now. Window-10. Okay. So let it restart. And here, whosoever system will going to communicate with our DHCP, it will get the IP, so on, right? अब इनके लिए देखो लीज टाइम आपको दिख रहा है 1/27/2023 7:44। इस टाइम के बाद इसकी लीज एक्सपायर हो जाएगी। इफ दिस सिस्टम इज नॉट, ये तो छोड़ो, 111 को देखते हैं। सो 1/27/2023 के बाद इसकी लीज टाइम एक्सपायर हो जाएगा। मींस इफ दिस सिस्टम इज नॉट going to communicate with my DHCP, then this IP will be freed up and it can be assigned to the other client. But I want that this IP should remain same for this